Hello, everybody, and welcome to my world. I don't live in a bubble, although sometimes it feels like I do. Anyway, I'm happy that everybody's here to join me on my very scary birthday. It's actually not scary. Can anybody guess how old I've turned today? And no Googling cheating. Hello, Simon. Hello, Laura. Just watching people coming in. Thank you for the birthday wishes. There's a lot to cover today. Yes, I'm looking through the Periscope, Simon. I've been buying a lot of these t-shirts lately, celebrating album covers of bands that I really liked back in the 60s. And this one is Jefferson Airplane's Crown of Creation. I was trying to decide which one to wear today. And then I thought about this one, and the opening track is called Lather. And it's about a boy who turns 30 years old and is no longer allowed to be a boy. I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. It's like, when do we stop being allowed to be children or play? And I'm more than double 30 years old. I am actually 72 today. So you can help me a little bit with some calculations. People that know about tarot birthday years and things, because I'm not sure about my math. I was calculating my birth year this year and my age this year. Now, the year I was born was 1952. And by my calculations, that reduces to a 17 or a 9, which is either the Star or the Hermit, or both. So that's kind of interesting, although my life always seems to be a hermit. Am I a star? Do I inspire? Then I took my birth date, September 8th, 1952, and that reduced to a 7 or a 16, depending on how you add up your figures. So I got the Chariot or the Tower. Not sure what to make of that. I'm just hoping I don't drive my Chariot into a tower and crash it all down. Then I took the 7 from my birthday and added it to this year. And I got the 15 or the 6, which is the Devil or the Lovers. So that's kind of interesting. Devil and Lovers. Will this be a romantic year or a risky year? Will there be a romance or just turmoil? Hello, Orshi. Hello, Red Wing. Hello, Laura. Welcome. So I don't know if you have any thoughts or opinions on those dates or those cards for me. I also did a spread for myself for the day. And you might want to happy birthday here too. Orgy, is it your birthday today too? That would be an interesting coincidence. So I did a spread with my cards just to see what do I need to know today for the coming year. And what I do is I like to kind of do a 3 card of my open face tarot over top of my 3 little Lenormand. So for the top row, I got the Lovers, the Empress, and Justice. If you care to pop into the chat, how you interpret that, how you would interpret that for me. Lovers, Empress, Justice. Lovers, Empress, Justice. I tend to read from the center out. So if I'm the center, I'm the Empress. And it's like I'm always, it's always kind of self-love. I'm always like nurturing, trying to take care of myself. I'm also a Virgo, and I guess Justice you'd think of as a Libra card because of the scales. But I'm always kind of like trying to balance out extremes, sort of stay to the middle ground, try to be fair and equitable about everything. And then the Lover's card is sort of like pairing, finding your other half, finding a companion, finding acceptance within yourself, your earthly self maybe, and your higher self, or you and another person. I'm not sure. Hi, Tony. So I'm not getting any responses yet in the chat about interpreting these cards, but if you have anything you want to say about those, Lovers, Empress, Justice, all majors. Oh well, it's a majors only deck. That's why they're all majors. Or she. Hello, Laura. Okay, I'll go to the second row. The second row are the Lenormand cards, and those are the Snake, the Key, and the Whip. Now, the Snake, the Key, and the Whip. For me, the center card is sort of finding a solution, unlocking the door. The Snake is the twists and turns of life, the things that we do when we turn left, when we turn right, we make choices and we make mistakes. And the Whip is sort of repetitive action and unpleasant repetitive action. And so for me, the key is kind of learning from my mistakes and not repeating them, or trying not to repeat them. So that's the way I read that, but I don't know. If you guys want to throw in some thoughts on that, please do. So next, let's see. What do you guys do on your birthdays? Because I haven't made a cake. I'm not getting a cake, but I think I'm going to go out and have cake, because what's a birthday without cake? Can you have a birthday without cake? I love cake. And do you have a favorite cake? I'm going to go to, I decided, the place that has my favorite cake. It's a cafe on McDougal Street called La Lanterna de Vittorio. And I think that means the lantern of victory, or Victor's lantern, the lantern of victory, which I really like. And that kind of plays back into my birth year of the Hermit and the Lantern. So I go to the Lantern for my birthday or birth year and have my cake. The cake I'm going to have is my favorite cake. It's called Frutti di Bosco cake. You can look it up. FRUTTIDIBOSCO. And it's a light cake, light fluffy cake that is cream filled, and then the topping is pink, red, and purple currant berries on top, covered with a layer of powdered sugar. So it's tart berries with the sweetness of the powdered sugar. And I just love that sweet and sour mix. And the light pastry and the cream inside, it's just perfect. The inside's not overly sweet. The outside is sour and a little sweet because of the powdered sugar. It's really yummy. The other cake, I might double up. There's a place a couple blocks from there called Molly's Cupcakes, and they have a whole array of different kinds of cupcakes. But my favorite one is their salted caramel. And it's really more like a butterscotch cupcake. It's like a yellow cake, and it's got it like kind of like a butterscotch pudding inside the cake. And then it's got this buttercream frosting that has this salty caramely flavor I don't know the difference between salted caramel and butterscotch. They both seem pretty much the same to me. They have that sweet, salty kind of combination. So anyway, those are my favorites, the Frutti di Bosco and the salted caramel. And I don't know, I think I'm going to go first with the Frutti di Bosco. And then if I have room, I'll run down the street and have a cupcake. They're not very big, the cupcakes. And they used to give you a free cupcake on your birthday. I don't know whether I'll test that out today or not. So let's see, what else is on my agenda for the day? I wanted to share an exciting deck with you. Every once in a blue moon, I go window shopping at makeplayingcards.com, and it's not the easiest website to maneuver. And they have more and more new cards there all the time. And it's really kind of hard to find stuff. So if you can find, the latest card, they sort of run on pages into the hundreds now. And I usually go to the last page and work backwards. And you scroll a page at a time. And then if you see something that strikes your fancy, you'll click for the details on that card. And they give you, I think now no more than 8 cards they'll show along with the card backs. And I found this deck recently that I wanted to save for October because it's kind of like a scary deck, sort of a Halloweenish deck. And I thought, even though I don't usually use decks seasonally, this would be a really fun deck for if people might want a new kind of Halloween deck to play around with for the month of October. So I was going to wait till October 1st because I'm not buying a lot of decks these days. I thought, well, I need a deck to share in October, and this is the one. And then I thought, if I wait till October 1st and anybody wants to buy it to use for Halloween or October, Make Playing Cards doesn't ship immediately. They have to create the card and then ship it, and it can sometimes take 2 to 3 weeks, and then the month's almost over. So I thought, well, here it is, early September. I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I'm going to share with you this deck that tickled my fancy. And if you're interested in it, you can order it now, and then you should have it by October, and you can use it for Halloween. Let me just check the chat a little bit here. So we have a couple of comments. Okay, all majors, happy birthday, thank you, makes sense. Both batch have a choice card, since the lovers is the choice as well, so it could be significant. Okay, yes for cake, looks nice. Oh dear, I need cake now. Lovers, Empress, Justice, learning to balance and nurture relationships, maintaining equilibrium. Okay. I think the lovers are the people in the chat. The Empress is Robin, and Justice is going to be handed down by the Scary Tarot deck. Okay, that's fun. I think it's a 3-week thing to UK. Yeah. So you'll have time. So what is it? Today is the 8th. How could I forget that? So we've got about 3 weeks left in September, so you might have it by the 1st. Anyway, if you had a peek at the card in the thumbnail, that's the deck, and it comes shrink wrapped. I think you might be able to buy a generic box, but I have this, little fold out spread pouch thingy that I got on Amazon. It's sort of like a suede cloth, and they come 2 to a set for $10, which is a bargain. I should put a link for that, but I'll have to look it up. All right. Some of you are going to like this. Some of you are not going to like this. And we can get into why that is later. But I tell you, I was just really tickled and amused by this. It's scary and it's funny. I think it's more funny than it is scary. It's called the Haunted Terror Rider Waite. And these are the backs, which are kind of like a blue and gold or blue and yellow, or sort of greenish blue and yellow. Pretty backs, I think. Do you need more room? Shall I take myself out of this bubble, or are we okay with that? You let me know. I can expand this back to the old vista. The back looks really cool. Okay, get ready. Brace yourself for a shock. The Haunted Terror Rider Waite. The Fool. Nice big bold labels and numbers at the bottom. The color scheme, the palette is kind of a bluish green with a little dash of fire in there. Ah, ah. Does the Vista make the cards bigger? No. It's just however close I put the card to the screen. Here, I'll switch it and you can see. I can go to square, or I can go to rectangle, and then you see more of my messy apartment. So which do you prefer? Tony says that has Batman Joker vibes almost. I'll tell you, as we see going through these, I think of the famous Edvard Munch. Oh, Simon wants the rectangle. All right. All right. Let me find it. Or she likes the bubble. Well, you had a bit of the bubble for a while. Maybe we'll switch back and forth. So this reminds me of Edvard Munch's The Scream. You've all seen that. It's kind of the Home Alone Edvard Munch painting, The Scream. And then I think the description kind of described it as sort of Edgar Allan Poe-ish. And then some of these remind me of Vincent van Gogh too, somehow, the quality of the cards of the paintings. After the Fool, we have the Magician. Simon was feeling claustrophobic. Spoiler, every single card in this deck is screaming. I think that's what I got a tickle out of. The High Priestess. And this is kind of what I think they call an impulse purchase. You know, when you're in line at the register and something just like makes you laugh, you think, oh, I have to get that. I don't know whether, if it wasn't this time of year approaching Halloween, whether I would have bought this or not, but I just thought it's really interesting. The Empress. The Emperor. You have to admit it's different. Have you ever seen a deck like this? The Hierophant. Is that a beast in a photo frame aside of you, Robin? The beast in the frame aside of me. In a photo in the frame at the side of you. A beast? Do you mean this up here, this guy? It's an old coworker that a friend of mine took a photo of. And then underneath it, you can't see, but there's a little wooden carved devil head. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about. I see the Scream painting now in all of them, says Tony. Primordial. Oh, maybe you're talking about this. Primordial Dreams Tarot. I have covered that. Yeah, the Hierophant. Bluebeard. The Lovers. That guy looks very Vincent van Gogh. I can't remember which of Vincent's ears he took off, whether it would be this one or the one we don't see on the other side. The Chariot. I love the squalling cats on the Chariot. Oh, this just makes me laugh, this deck. Strength. Some of the cards do hint at elements from the Rider-Waite Smith, but I don't know for the most part whether one could read from the imagery in this deck or whether it's more, you have to rely on the labels. But I'm getting very used to that these days. The Hermit, sort of a madman. Wheel of Fortune. I like the bright colors, and I like that it's kind of a cool night palette, but there's still this pop of fire energy in it. Maybe these tarot characters are singing heavy metal. The Justice card. The Hanged Man. Oh, bye, Orshi. The Death card. I love that the skull of death still has some hair. The sky. Look, that's a very Van Gogh sky. Temperance. The Devil. The Tower. Star. The Moon. Hey, Ben. The Sun. Judgment. World. This might also fit the bill for dark and creepy decks, of which I don't really have in my collection, because it's definitely dark and creepy. I don't think you'd want to do happy readings for people with this deck. Okay, now the order these came in, this one's the cups. So Ace of Cups. It's like, hey, there's no more drink in my cup. Fill her up. Bartender. Two of Cups down at the pub. I don't know if they're singing or arguing. Tony says, I think all the cards are saying, for goodness sakes, figure it yourself. You don't listen to a word I say. What are the cards screaming at? Our queen passed on your 70th birthday. Yeah, and she reigned for 70 years, just saying. Or just realized. So I'm 2 years overdue. No, 70 years. Yeah, what was she, 92? I can't remember. Three of Cups. Looks like a mad tea party. Or a choir. One of those girl groups with three gals in it. Four of Cups. Do I want more coffee? Do I want decaf? Do I want to switch to tea or hot chocolate? Five of Cups. Oh, we finally have a person of color. And some kids. Six of Cups. Can we have Kool-Aid? Seven of Cups. And the Eight of Cups. Now I'm trying to remember what the image is in the Eight of Cups. Oh, that's the walking away card, right? Yeah. Nine of Cups. This looks like the boss. I'm not talking about Springsteen. I'm talking about the employer. Oh, Simon, you've got a sharp ear. No, it wasn't thunder. It was someone in the apartment upstairs dragging something across their floor. Probably a trunk. Kind of wish every card wasn't them all screaming. Yeah. Well, I think that's sort of the theme of this deck. 10 of Cups. I suppose it does sort of lack the impact when they're all kind of doing the same thing. It's kind of twisted, though, in the way that, Patrick very kind of Patrick Valenza twisted, The Knight of, was that the page? It was. Very young page. Knight. I forgot to ask if everybody has a cuppa. I've got my black currant tea today. The Queen of Cups. The King of Cups. Now the Wands, the Ace of Wands. It has a dynamic feel to it. Like leaning into the wind. The Two of Wands. Okay, this is a dead giveaway. Or no, is it? Wait, not yet. Not yet. Almost. When I get there, I'm going to show you or tell you. But I'm sure you all know already. Definitely has a Halloween vibe. That's what I thought. The general color palette and composition's appealing. I'm not so sure the people wanted to be caught in a tarot deck. Three of Wands. Four of Wands. This is like Van Gogh saying, "Get off my lawn." Hello, Martha. Five of Wands. Six of Wands. Seven of Wands. Okay. Yeah, this one's one of the first giveaways. If you haven't guessed already, this is an AI deck. I didn't know for sure, but I suspected it was. You could have an artist, very stylized, which I like, doing this kind of thing. But when you get to things like fingers being confused and stuff, like, look, there's an extra arm in there, right in the middle. So this guy on the one side looks to have three arms. I think they could have fixed that. So you want to use AI as a tool, go ahead, but use it as a partial tool, and then do a little graphic remedy where it falls short. And there are some figures in here that have 6 fingers. Trying to count on this guy. I can't tell on this 8 of Wands if that hand, no, maybe not. I can't tell if there's an extra finger or if that's just the thumb on that side overlapping a knuckle. It gets harder and harder for me to share cards this way. As I get older, my hands seem like they're less steady. 9 of Wands. Can you imagine living in this world, in the world of this deck, where it's perpetual night with swirling skies and stars and planets, and people just always in this manic state? 10 of Wands. If we were using this deck, what kind of readings would you use it for? Here's the Page of Wands. Then again, what would you use the Deviant Moon for? I don't know. Knight of Wands. Hi, Care Bear. Now, Queen of Wands. Statue of Liberty. King of Wands. Oh, this is different. We go to an animal. Ace of Swords. Mad Dog. Guard Dog. 2 of Swords. These are fiery. Speaking of beverages, I enjoy the violet tea you recommended. Oh, you got some. Yeah. I've also been hooked on their rose tea with cardamom. So good. I'm glad you tried it. Three of Swords. Yeah, we got the heart, but the heart's not being pierced. It's almost being protected from all that fire. Also, I kind of wonder in this deck, there's no booklet or information with it, whether fire is considered, whether the swords are considered the fire sign in this deck because of all the fire. Does it really matter? I don't know. Hello, Glinda, Tarot, and Dolls. 4 Swords. 5 of Swords. Six of Swords. Kind of a small boat. 7 of Swords. Everybody's in flames. This is an inflamed kind of a deck. Inflammatory. 8 of Swords. Nine. Well, we're getting on with this deck like a house on fire. Ten of Swords. This deck is kind of like a nightmare for anybody who really loved Van Gogh's Starry Night painting, because it's like, look in the background, Starry Night, and it's just like everything is going wrong. The village is burning down. Page of Swords. All the pages in this seem to be like really almost toddlers. The Knight of Swords. He's got a mask on. It's very, who is that, Jason? This looks a little like Margaret Thatcher. Queen of Swords. King of Swords. Anybody who has a weakness for ginger-haired folks, this might be the deck for you. A lot of them seem to have red hair. Ace of Pentacles. This is sort of like a young, screaming Dakota Fanning. Two of Pentacles. Three. Oh, going crazy. Four of Pentacles. He's really in his head about his possessions. Four of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. Six. Oh, that's sweet. That's Van Gogh. This one's actually pretty toned down compared to the rest. It's kind of refreshing to have that softer feel. Six of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. Which one is that? That's the sharing and caring one, right? These are very glidey cards, slippery. It's that typical playing cards stock, it's flexible. Seven of Pentacles. This looks like it would make a great bicep tattoo if you're into like horror imagery. I kind of like that sort of oval with star clusters. Eight of Pentacles. Nine. This is kind of accusatory. You did what? 10 of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. That's kind of sweet, actually. This is the calm in the storm, We don't see a horrified face. Page of Pentacles, considering. And we're back. Night. Looks almost like is that a face in the sky? Queen of Pentacles. This is like out of a bad version of Alice in Wonderland. Off with his head. And the King of Pentacles. So I don't know, horror fans, was that enough horror or terror for you? or too much? Maybe it doesn't belong in a tarot deck. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with it, and we'll see when it comes to reading with it. Maybe I'll shuffle a little bit now and see if I get a card for my birthday and see how we might interpret that. If I can keep from spilling my tea, we'll spill the tea. Simon, I knew it wouldn't be for you the minute I said AI. But I'm happy you stuck around to have a look at it. This might be what you call a novelty deck, that you just have in your collection because it's an oddball of a deck. It's not an everyday kind of a thing. But like I said, for me, it was just kind of a window shopping on make playing cards impulse purchase. I'm at the register. What am I going to buy? Ooh, that looks fun. And Halloween's coming up. That looks fun. I would use it on strange creative reads only. The Knight of Pence has the feel of a lot more movement than I'm used to. The horror of every day. I don't think I've ever seen a deck dedicated to redheads or shades of strawberry blonde before. The colors used are great. This takes a little more mixing for me because I don't riffle shuffle. So we're almost done. Since I've been doing live deck shares, I've been coming in at closer to just under an hour. And I don't know how you guys all feel about these. I think I kind of like better doing the live card flip throughs to my pre-recorded ones, because then I get a little feedback from you guys, Care Bear, impulse buys. I know nothing about those. There's a topic right there. Somebody wants to do a VR to impulse buys. What are your tarot or oracle impulse buys? And did they pan out? Did they work for you? Was it an initial crush or infatuation that, faded over time? Or did they, remain as strong or even develop deeper? So yeah, I'd be interested to see if anybody wants to do a VR to that. Tarot impulse buys. I might do it too, although mine are more likely to be ones I liked at first that faded over time. Trying to think if I have any that, well, actually, I love the Tarot de Maria Celia. And even though I thought it was pretty at first, I had some problems with the borders on it that I trimmed off, and that was a big mistake. And then I fell in love with them all over again, and now it's like maybe my top favorite pip deck. I suppose that Tarot Impulse buys, it could be combined with decks that you got rid of and then rebought. Did you have an impulse to buy it, but then the impulse didn't hold and like you gave it away or rehomed it, and then you missed it like an ex and brought them back into your life? I learned how to shop smarter mostly. You learn more about what works for you. Yeah, that's kind of what's happening with me. When I see decks now, most of them aren't for me, and I can still appreciate the beauty. But some of them, and people question me about this, what do you mean by that? Some of them are too beautiful for me or too pretty. It's like, well, I don't like glamour decks, for one thing. I don't like contemporary representations, and I don't like decks that are too body beautiful or, like out of vogue fashion magazine glamour. I don't like decks that are too sexual unless it's sex with a twist. I don't like it to be this like, stereotypical seduction kind of imagery or fairies, fairy decks where the fairies are wearing bustiers, that's just not my thing. I like my fairies more like Brian Froud, like wrinkled, gnarled, twisted fairies, not like glamorous ones in a bathing suit contest at the Miss America pageant, but they have wings. Yeah, nope, not my kind of fairies. Hi, Maruta. All right, we're getting about there. Shall I do one card or three? I'll do one and see what happens. Might need to go to three. Lately, my spreads are almost always not sort of non-spreads. They're kind of like open readings. And I usually pull three, but lately what I've been doing is I'll pull three and then keep pulling. So I'll read the three and then I'll expand or expound on that by adding additional cards, like extending the story to see where it goes, unless the initial three are so self-contained with the answer right there that it feels complete, and then I stop. It's just the way I work. Okay, here we go. Oh, Simon, you're going to chuckle at this. You'll never guess what I pulled for my card for my birthday. My significator, the Three of Wands. Anybody who knows me knows that this is the center of my world, center of my decks. It's the Three of Wands. This is not a great depiction for the Three of Wands, but I mean, since I know it's the Three of Wands, I know what it's all about. But I wouldn't say this is, usually we have the Three of Wands facing away from us. There are two more wands, and they're on the cusp of doing something or about to do something. But I mean, I'm tickled. I mean, this deck seems to be saying, I read you. There you are. No, maybe I'm just not shuffled. On the left of the Three of Wands, we have the Two of Wands. Well, that could be last year going into the coming year, moving into becoming me, the Two of Wands to the Three of Wands. And then on the other side, we have the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is usually I'm overlooking or missing something. So it's like on my way to becoming me, have I been missing something? Do I need to be more open and aware to my surroundings in the year to come in order to advance? Maybe I need to worry a little bit, fret a little bit more, focus a little more on the cup I am not aware of yet, you know, my emotions. Hey, Red Wing. Hey, Donna. You guys will have to watch this back. I'm just closing out now. Now, if I go to a fourth card from that reading, I get the Two of Pentacles. And that's interesting because that's choices this year. Substantial material choices that I need to be making or need to consider. Some emotional growth, says Maruda. I really like that Four of Cups. Biting the fingers builds up to that Seven of Cups feel too. Okay, I pulled another card, but I think that's probably the place to stop with that Two of Pentacles. That feels more like a solution. The next card I pulled feels like a step too far. It's like shifting the story. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me today on my little tarot birthday party. And again, this was the Haunted Terror Rider Waite. I don't know why they called it that. I get the Haunted Terror. I don't get the Rider Waite. I mean, there are some hints at Rider Waite, but I don't think it's so obvious. Hello, Rolf. Yeah, you can watch it back. It's only under an hour. Enjoy my cake. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I don't know what's up next, but anyway. So, yeah, I might not have a deck to share in October. We shall see. There's nothing in the works unless I come across something. I might work on some other theme or something. But in case you wanted to order this deck from Make Playing Cards in order to have it by Halloween, I just wanted to let you know. And I put the link in the description below so you can click right on it if you want to, need to. Okay, so goodbye, everybody. Remember that we all are the crown of creation, each and every one of us. Bye.